time to ask the expert once again on our Alfalfa Ask the Expert program. Jerry Clark, Chippewa County agricultural agent who does a lot of research in the field with forages. And Jerry, some of the new technology we've got that's coming out, some of these alfalfa varieties like Digest and Harv Extra, have you had much work done with them as far as actually in test plots and following it all the way through to the cows, and what kind of results some of the farmers are telling you about?
Sure. What we've done locally here with the Chippewa Valley Forage Council is put out a few plots with the low lignin varieties, with the Digest or the Harv Extra, and just kind of looking at standability, stand counts, what the germination is, kind of just some of the basic agronomic types of functions of some of these these new technologies. And where the actual feeding part of it, farmers maybe are still looking to see how it actually, on a larger scale where they have to feed, that's all they're feeding and looking at production. But the university has looked at it, in their test cows at the Arlington Research Station and those kind of types of research. So personally, I don't have as much on the cow end of it, but what we're seeing in the field on the agronomic side of it is seeding rates are very similar. What's nice about these products is it does extend that harvest window, so farmers are seeing that where they can, instead of cutting on that 28-day schedule where we can really capture the high quality feed value of the alfalfa, we're seeing that they can stretch that out to 32, maybe even another week, 35-day cutting window, which gets you more yield, obviously, but then you're also not giving up on the quality side of it. So it's standing well. One issue that we've looked at is also disease ratings with these, because the longer that plant is in the field, is there an increase in disease problems, leaf diseases, that kind of thing. So we're seeing that we are seeing an increase in the diseases. That's so year to year that it's kind of a coin flip whether to treat with a fungicide or anything like that. But from an agronomic standpoint, these varieties or this technology that has the low lignin trait in it is showing up in the field where farmers are able to stretch that window a little bit wider and still capture good quality alfalfa. And
you alluded to it a little bit, weed control in these varieties, in these stands now. We got so many different varieties that we're working with now. Is weed control different, and what are some of the new techniques and maybe new products that we can use?
Sure, we've had Roundup Ready alfalfa out there on the market, so glyphosate products do work. So it's a nice way to clean up those grasses. Again, when you have new seeding and a younger stand, you can really capture some high quality feed just because you don't have that weed pressure out there with it. Still, the conventional varieties work well, where you have. If you're looking for that pure stand, some pre-emerge type treatments, or just after those trifoliates start to emerge, those conventional products still work quite well to clean up those fields. When we start to see a lot of dandelion and maybe some of those perennial weeds starting to show up at the end of the stand, that's where we really need to see stand counts, because wherever a weed was, that's where an alfalfa plant should have been. And so that's where rotation starts to come into play. Where is it time to rotate that out of alfalfa into corn, or start the rotation back into alfalfa another year later? So those are the kind of things we look at from weed control. Is the conventional products still work well if that's where you're at?
So again, lots of ways to produce a good alfalfa. Jerry Clark with us to talk about more of those today on our Alfalfa Ask the Expert program.